Hey everyone, this is Miss Granger. In this video, we're going to go over the second part of the front page of your Causes of World War II lesson. So you should have already learned about Hitler, how the United States was doing during the 1920s, and defined some words. So in this video, we're going to take a look at the timeline on the right-hand side of your front page. Now, World War II doesn't start until officially 1939, but there's a lot of work that goes into getting there, and it starts all back in the 1920s. So we know that in 1918, World War I ends. The armistice or ceasefire is signed in this train car by German delegates and also the Allied delegates, and the Germans really get the bad end of the deal. We know that they don't get to decide any of the terms of the ceasefire, and they have to pay lots of reparations in addition to accepting blame for the whole war. Many people feel resentment towards Western Europe about this, and that's kind of where we lead off here. So we know that Hitler is one of the people impacted greatly by the loss of the war, and in 1921 he works his way up to become the leader of the National Socialist German Workers' Party, otherwise known as the Nazi Party, Nazi. Hitler is very influential, and he ends up increasing Nazi Party membership tenfold. As the leader of the party, Hitler has this plan that he calls his 25-point platform. So we're going to talk about just a couple of the 25 points. So number one, Hitler really wants the expansion of German territory. Remember that Germany lost lots of territory in World War I, including lots of this area of Poland. It also cannot move any troops or any people into what's known as the Rhineland, which is the western part of Germany, and Hitler wants to expand that territory. Second, Hitler really wants to reject the Treaty of Versailles. This official document stipulated what Germany could and could not do post-World War I. Number three, Hitler really wants to deny citizenship and political power to lots of groups, including Jews and other minorities. These include communists, gypsies, and disabled people. 4, Hitler proclaims that Germans are superior to all other people. His belief that the Aryan heritage, including having this blonde hair, blue eyes, and fair skin, is optimal, and this makes Germans the best. Next, Hitler really needs a scapegoat or someone to blame. So in this case, he blames the people that he wants to strip power from, and that includes, as we saw before, Jews and Soviets, those of the Communist Party. He also condemns, meaning he says they're doing a bad job, he condemns the Weimar government, or the semi-democratic government that was created after World War I. He doesn't think they're doing enough, and he actually kind of blames them for the situation that they're in. And this whole platform really attracts lots of different groups of people. This includes unemployed ex-soldiers, small farmers, and lower middle-class people. And if we think about it, if we know that the German economy is doing poorly, a platform like this would really appeal to people who are not doing well economically. So now we're down here in 1922, and we have another of Hitler's future allies, Italian Benito Mussolini, comes to power in Italy under fascism, or this kind of total control by a leader. So in 1923, Hitler feels that his time has come to overthrow the government and stage a coup. So Hitler stages this coup against the German government, but it fails, and he is actually imprisoned. He, when in prison, writes an important book for the future of Nazi Germany. It is called Mein Kampf, which stands for, or is translated to My Struggle, and it outlines his plans to restore Germany to greatness. So Hitler does his prison time, and in 1924 he is released from prison. From there, he realizes that staging a coup, which is illegal technically and not always successful, as he learned, and he uses then legal measures to take power and to gain support. Some of these legal measures include elections, and also propaganda. So he has major influence and gets his people elected to official office, and then uses the propaganda, that information to sway at emotional heartstrings to kind of get people on his side and to gather mass support. So Hitler continues doing this for several years in the 1920s, and then all of a sudden we get this event in America known as Black Tuesday. It occurs on October 29th, 1929. America's Wall Street crashes. The banks fail. People try to get their money and are not able to. And this in turn starts what's known as the Great Depression. The Great Depression, taking place in the first part of the 1930s, is known as this time of really big economic turmoil. Mass unemployment leads to social issues, health issues, a really big downturn in essentially the entire globe. So finally, if you remember back in the previous lesson where we talked about the global economy and trade being very dependent on America, we know that the banks in America did fail and the whole world was impacted. So we'll learn about that in our next lesson. Check with your teacher for any next steps.